What's up, everybody? It is day 5, and we're going to read Proverbs chapter 5 in the Christian Standard Bible version. Let's get going. Verse 1. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Listen closely to my understanding, so that you may maintain discretion and your lips safeguard knowledge. Though the lips of the forbidden woman drip honey, and her words are smoother than oil, in the end, she is as bitter as wormwood and as sharp as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps head straight for Sheol. She doesn't consider the path of life. She doesn't know that her ways are unstable. So now, sons, listen to me and don't turn away from the words from my mouth. Keep your way far from her. Don't go near the door of her house. Otherwise, you will give up your vitality to others and your years to someone cruel. Strangers will drain your resources, and your hard-earned pay will end up in a foreign's house. At the end of your life, you will lament when your physical body has been consumed, and you will say, how I hated discipline, and how my heart despised correction. I didn't obey my teachers or listen closely to my instructors. I am on the verge of complete ruin before the entire community. Drink water from your own cistern, water flowing from your own well. Should your springs flow in the streets, stream in the public squares? They should be for you alone and not for you to share with strangers. Let your fountain be blessed and take pleasure in the wife of your youth, a loving deer and a graceful doe. Let her breasts always satisfy you. Be lost in her love forever. Why, my son, would you lose yourself with the forbidden woman or embrace a wayward woman? For a man's ways are before the Lord's eyes, and he considers all his paths. A wicked man's iniquities will trap him. He will become tangled in the ropes of his own sin. He will die because there is no discipline, and be lost because of his great stupidity. That concludes chapter 5. Now, a couple of things that I've highlighted, and especially when I was a single young Christian man, and now that I'm a married Christian man, I read these in two different perspectives, but it's really one message in the same, that as I was a young single Christian man, what type of woman would I choose to marry? What type of woman? And I think in this day and age where we have social media and you see pictures and filters and sometimes people can be infatuated with a type of look of a woman and miss out on the woman that God has for them, one with inner spiritual beauty as well as physical attractiveness. So when it comes to picking the right one, you have to avoid the seduction of the worldly woman and choose a one of godly character. And then when you become married, you need to enjoy marriage. Marriage isn't a cure for lust. Marriage isn't a way to avoid the temptations. No, it is a covenant that you make, but you have to enjoy that covenant relationship you have with your wife and with your spouse, and not try to spill your business out in the streets. I think that was in verse 17. Don't let your waters run into the streets. So you have to honor, protect the covenant and the privacy and the beauty of marriage. And so that's really what I have highlighted. And then lastly, I'll say in verse 23, when it says he will die because there was no discipline. Lack of discipline leads to death. Lack of discipline leads to death. And so there are things that may not be sins, but it leads us to be undisciplined. And I want to encourage you to check out on those things that we may struggle with and add that discipline to our lives so that we can live a long life and fulfill God's plan for our lives. That's what I've gotten out of Proverbs 5. What did you get? Share it in the comments, and we'll see you tomorrow for day 6 as we read chapter 6